Okay. Can everybody hear me? I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay, hi, I'm Elaine Whitfield, and today we're talking about LegalShield, specifically for Canadians. And I have Brad Roberts on the line with us. He's an executive director with LegalShield, and he's the regional manager of Ontario, along with his beautiful wife, Moira. And so I'm going to just turn this over to Brad, and he is going to guide us through this. Thanks, Brad.
Awesome. Thanks, Elaine. I appreciate everybody dialing in and logging in, and wherever you may be. I'm sitting in my home office looking out the front window while the snow falls in Barrie, Ontario. My kids have just got home from school, and I tell you, I love working from home, but I also love the technology lets us. So I'm a regional manager, as Elaine said, for LegalShield. I started out much like all of you as a small business owner about 15 years ago. I had a couple of different storefronts in strip malls in Barrie. I had 25 staff, and I was in my store late one night, and a gentleman came in and shared LegalShield with me, and he said, you know, I can help your business save some money. And I thought, hey, I'm all ears, because as a small business owner, every dollar counts. And so as we jump into this webinar, I'll share some of the rest of my story as we go. I want to respect everybody's time. But number one, we have two goals. The first goal, of course, is to educate you about who we are, what we do, and how we could possibly help your business. We don't know. We're going to share some information with you. You get to decide whether that might benefit. And our second goal is to save your company money, because when we can cut your expenses and improve your access, that goes right to your bottom line in a way that you can worry less and live more. So let's talk about the company. We've been established since 1972. Currently, we have $450 million in annual revenue. We're serving 3.7 million individuals and small businesses across the U.S. and Canada. And what we offer those folks is access to a proprietary closed panel law system where we have a different law firm in every state and province that we're open in that serves the members in that state or province. And the reason is the laws are different in Ontario than they are in Florida or Arizona or California or BC or wherever. So as a member, you're getting advice about your specific issue in your specific state. So make sure you get back with Elaine. She's got our portfolio of services posted on her website. And we're just going to go through a quick overview today to kind of give you a flavor and some ideas of what's possible for you. So number one, LegalShield has 4 divisions. Our consumer division makes up about 70% of our company, and the reason for that is nobody who's a business owner that would purchase one of our plans to protect their business would leave their family unprotected. So we'll talk about that, and we'll start with that today. And in that division, we offer a family plan and an individual legal savings plan, as well as the best and most robust identity theft restoration plan in North America. Our second division is our broker division, where we partner with finance and insurance professionals to take those previous services that I mentioned to the marketplace, to their existing and future clients. And we've been doing that for years in a variety of different ways, very, very successfully. So as we switch over to our business solutions division, we offer LegalShield as a group benefit. In fact, it's the #1 fastest growing voluntary benefit in North America. And already 34,000 employees have added us to their benefit package the same way that they offer health and dental and life insurance and perhaps vision to their employees on a payroll deduct. And then our small business division is the same concept as I'm going to share with you in a minute. It serves 47,000 small business owners and really gives them unlimited access and protects their bottom line by saving them a whole pile of money. So what's our vision as a company? Well, we want to provide the equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every North American, I like to say family and business owner, both deserves and expects. And so what are other folks about LegalShield? Well, the Better Business Bureau of Central Oklahoma, because the company is rated where our home office is, like every other company, we've had an A+ rating for over 20 years. As a parent, if you had a kid that came home with A+ on their report card for 20 years, you'd be pretty happy. And Consumer Affairs gives us a 5 out of 5 star rating. Why are these important? Because it's not the companies rating LegalShield. It's LegalShield's members reporting into these companies, and based on our members' reports, these third-party agencies give us the ratings that they do. So it's truly third-party ratings. So what's in it about you? What about you and your business? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? As business owners, we're signing them all the time. I like to point out the fact that somebody else's lawyer wrote that contract, and probably not to protect your interests. So if it was financially affordable and feasible, if you had access, would you get your lawyer to review it to make sure that signing it was in your best interest, whether personally or business-wise? Let's look back over the last year and just ask yourself, have you ever been overcharged or treated unfairly? Have you ever walked away and said, that's not fair? Can they even do that? Is that legal? I'm never dealing with that company again, because you felt taken advantage of in some way. Well, we've got a solution to that. Have you ever received a traffic ticket? As business owners, it's not about the ticket, because we can afford that. The impact, of course, on our automobile insurance rates for the next 1, 2, or 3 years, particularly if we have teenage drivers, that's where the real sting occurs. Have you ever patronized a store that had a data breach and later found out or wondered, geez, what information of mine did they get? And who got it? And what are they going to do with it? And when am I going to feel the impact of that? We've got a solution for that. And finally, have you ever been in a situation where that you thought the advice of a lawyer might be useful, but you didn't pick up the phone? And most people say, yes, of course. And I say, why? And they say, well, it's just too cost prohibitive. It's just too expensive. $300 an hour. I'm not going to call a $300 solution for a $50 or $60 or $75 or $100 problem. And so what I like to say is, you know, folks, it's cheaper to get ripped off than it is to stand up for yourself until LegalShield, and we're going to show you a solution to that. So we're going to start with our family service. We're going to move to our small business service and show you how that works and may benefit you. So first of all, you're asking yourself, okay, does our membership work? Absolutely. Our law firms across North America, there's 6,900 lawyers that are available to you once you become a member. They're receiving 40,000 intake calls per week where our members are phoning in and saying, hey, I've got a situation, I've got a question, I don't know how to deal with this. So here's what we cover. Legal advice on an unlimited number of issues. Pick up the phone, call a 1-800 number, talk to your lawyer in your province or state. They're going to have a lawyer that's an expert in the area of law call you back. So lawyers are like doctors, they specialize. And you're going to get a real estate lawyer calling you back on a real estate issue, a family lawyer calling you back on a family issue, landlord, tenant, commercial, IRS, Canadian Revenue Agency, taxation lawyers, whatever. We're going to have a lawyer that's an expert call you back, not a generalist that you may get in your hometown, but an absolute expert that only deals in that area of law. During the conversation with that lawyer, I want you to relax because there's no time clock running. It's an unlimited conversation. The lawyer's probably going to ask you, have you got any contracts or documents on this? An email, a contract, a sketch of something written out on a napkin over a beer with a business partner. You know, what do we have available? Well, contracts or documents reviewed up to 10 pages. The lawyers are going to look at your issues and give you specific advice on your specific situation. They'll explain the document or contract to you line by line, clause by clause, you know, what your obligations and rights are, and of course what the other person's obligations or rights are. And then if they think it'll make a difference, they'll write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf to a third party that has somehow, you know, done you wrong or taken advantage of you or what have you. And I want you to put your hat on for just a moment. As a business owner, if I come in and I purchase a widget at your store, doesn't matter what that widget is, doesn't matter the cost, and I come back 1 or 2 or 3 weeks later and I'm unhappy with the service, I'm unhappy with the widget, it broke or it didn't perform the way it was supposed to or whatever, and you won't give me back my money. You won't make me happy, and I leave. You know you have a disgruntled customer. Well, I happen to be a member of LegalShield, and so I call my law firm and I explain the situation, and I fax over my receipt or my purchase agreement. Maybe I fax over a picture of the broken widget, whatever it may be, and then they say, hey, we think we can help you. And they write you, as the business owner that sold me the widget, they write you a letter that has 26 or 30 lawyers' names across the top of the page, and they say, you know, dear Mr. Business Owner or Mrs. Business Owner, in the matter of, you know, Mr. Roberts' broken widget, we've been retained to, you know, get him some restitution. under the Consumer Protection Act or whatever law they state, blah, 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 and you read it and you're like, oh my gosh. And you have a choice to make. At this point in time, you can either give me my money back or you can litigate, because that's the way the letter's worded. That, we hope this matter is going to be resolved, but we're not afraid to take further action. And so as a business owner, it's always cheaper to make the customer happy at your cost than it is to litigate. And this is the crux of our service right here, where we give the average middle-class family or small business owner a level playing field to play on, as opposed to having been policied and taken advantage of by big corporations, large businesses, or the government. We give you an equal playing field to play on. So 90% of what you're going to use your membership for, of course, is right here. So let me move forward. This access is also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine the power of being able to call your law firm right at the side of the road before you or a family member gives an answer to the police officer that may frankly change your life. Now, as business owners, our lawyers also prepare your will and powers of attorney for personal care and property. That's a huge issue. We're going to do that for free under our membership, and give you an opportunity to review it and update it every single year as life changes. 90% of what you're going to use your membership for, I just covered. I've had my membership for 15 years, and every single time I've called in, except for 2, I've used this portion of the membership. I've had an hour, 2, 3 hours of a lawyer's time and efforts and energy and answers to my questions, and I've never received a bill. However, once in a while, you're going to deal with the big stuff in life. Getting divorced, adopting a child, incorporating a business, trying to get out of a business partnership, buying or selling a house, all these sorts of things. We give you a 25 to 33% discount off of those lawyers' fees. That's significant. If you've got a $10,000 legal bill and you can reduce it to $7,500, that's a $2,500 savings right there. This is the best savings plan I've ever seen. Now, on top of this, our home business rider extends your family plan to cover your home-based business with less than 3 employees, not including you. So what do? We give you unlimited consultation on business-related issues, 3 business documents and 3 contracts reviewed every single month so that you can get legal advice before you execute or do something. 3 letters written on your behalf to a third party, as well as 3 debt collection letters. Those are separate letters, so if you want to look at that, 6 letters, but 3 to a third party and 3 to a customer that owes you money. And we also offer that same 25% reduced fee. So as you go and expand your business, you say, hey, I'd like to incorporate, that would fall under the 25%. If you want to franchise or license yourself out, that would also fall under that same situation. And so we've got an app for this. You don't even have to go to the lawyer's office. We'll put the power of this in the palm of your hand. Just touch your app, call your law firm from wherever you are on the job site or at home, and that red button there for emergency access. Now, who's covered? You, your spouse, your kids up to the age of 21 if they're living at home, up to the age of 23 if they're away at college or university anywhere in North America. Dependent kids that you might be the legal guardian of, those kids are covered up to the age of 18. And physically or mentally challenged children, we cover those folks for life because we know the legal challenges that they and the people that advocate for them are going to have. I think that's hugely ethical on the part of our company. So if you were a lawyer and I came to you with those services, what would you have to charge me on a monthly basis? And then as a business owner, this is the question that the gentleman asked me, what makes more sense to you? One lawyer with 1 or 2, maybe 3 areas of expertise, charging $250 or more an hour, or having access to an entire law firm with every area of law covered, unlimited access to you for $43.50 a month for your family and your business, or $41.50 for if you're an individual that is not married and have no dependents. That's what made sense to me. I thought, wow, for just under $600 a year, I've got unlimited access. Heck, I could use that up in 2 hours of a lawyer's time. Now, as a business owner, identity theft is a major, major issue. Most people think it's credit related, but what would you do if somebody got a hold of your social insurance number got a job in your name, they got the money, but you got the tax bill. Who would you call? What would you do to try and get the refund that you thought was coming, and instead you're now getting a letter from Canada Revenue Agency that says you actually owe us money? Who do you call to fix that problem? What if somebody steals your driver's license, put their picture on it, drives worse than you, gets a bunch of tickets, and you get the notification that your license has been canceled and you're called into court, failure to appear? Would that impact your life, your ability to earn your money? Absolutely. What if somebody committed medical fraud or character criminal fraud or tax return fraud with your name on it? That would be a problem. Well, ID Shield is a solution to that. We've got more than 1 million members. We've done more than 200,000 identity consultations. And the bottom line on that slide is the most important. We have restored more than 10,000 of our customers' individual identities, which means that our licensed team of investigators goes in and does the work for you. You don't have to stop your business. You don't have to stop your life. You don't have to stop looking after your family. You have to just make one phone call, and our licensed and private investigators go and do all the work for you. They contact the government agencies. They do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to get your records cleared back to pre-theft condition. And frankly, that's the issue. 70% of identity theft requires a lawyer to get involved because you are guilty until you prove your innocence. And to do that, you need a third party to do that. That's why our legal plan and identity theft plan go together. So you understand that if you're away from your business trying to fix your own issues, that's actually costing you time because it's time away from you selling or servicing one of your clients. If one of your employees takes time off to fix their LegalShield or their identity theft issues as opposed to using their LegalShield membership, that's actually lost production time for you as well. So a lot of our employers add this as an employee benefit really to get to the issue of productivity and sick leave. That's our solution for them. So peace of mind for just you and your family is $53.45 a month. That includes your personal plan, the home-based rider that extends your personal plan to cover your home-based business, and the Identity Theft Shield rider, which covers you, your spouse, and your kids up to the age of 18. Once they become 18, they need their own membership. Now that is $53.45, Michelle, Canadian, because you pay in the currency in the state or province that you live in. I believe today's webinar is for Canada, so that is a $53.45 Canadian cost. Of course, that wonderful temporary tax they told us about is going to be added to that. So again, you've got instant access from the touch of your phone for identity theft issues. Just right there on the touch your button. Just did this last week personally, and the service that I got was absolutely phenomenal. So here's a real quick pricing chart for everybody to kind of break it down. A family legal plan is anywhere from $20 to $26 a month across North America. In Canada, it's $26 a month. If you're an individual, that is, you don't have any dependents and you're not married, that plan is $17 to $23 across North America. The home-based business rider, depending on what state or province you live in, ranges for anywhere from $9.95 to $17.50 because coverage varies from state to state and province to province, so therefore the price does. And then there's ID Shield. So there's our total Canadian price, $53.45, of course, plus the HST. And this is an eligible business deduction. So business owners love this when I say to them, hey, here's a way to make a business expense pay for all of this protection for your entire family. They think that's cool because they can write it off. Now, you're looking at that going, that's another bill. Well, actually, it's not, because if you take a look at all of these companies that have lined up to give our 3.7 million members discounts, and in some cases significant discounts on what they're already spending money on anyways, every single year that I've had my membership, I've saved more than my membership cost just in the perks program, never mind have the peace of mind and the access that the law firm has given to me. It's just been absolutely priceless. Now, let's transition real quick. We're almost getting wrapped up here. Let's transition real quick into our business solutions side. Maybe you're on the phone today and you've got more than 3 employees. Maybe you don't work out of your house. Maybe you work out of a different office. We have a scalable small business plan that grows with you, or maybe you want to refer a lane back to somebody that is a friend of yours that could use it. It's the same concept. We have plans for less than $10, less than 50, or less than 100 employees, and this provides unlimited phone consultation on business matters for the business. It could be a sole proprietorship, could be a partnership, could be an incorporation, but this is separate from the family. We're talking about business issues, business leases, vendor agreements, documents, HR issues, government compliance letters, all that kind of stuff, letters and phone calls made on your behalf. Let me give you a quick example. I used this part of the membership for my landlord. When the air conditioner broke on the roof, it was 95 degrees inside my unit. I'd made 7 phone calls to him, and he said he never returned any of those phone calls. But when I signed the lease, he said, "Hey, Brad, just call me anytime. We run an open door policy here." And how many times have we heard those words? Well, 7 phone calls later, I was frustrated, so I picked up the phone, called my law firm. They said, "Send us down your commercial lease." So they reviewed my lease there. You see that under document and contract review. And they said, "Hey, can we make a phone call to your landlord?" I said, "Absolutely." So I don't know what the conversation was. All I know is 4 hours later, I get a phone call from my landlord saying, "Mr. Roberts, you did not need to sick your downtown Toronto law firm on me." And I said, "Well, just hold on a second. I made 7 phone calls to you, and you ignored Brad. But when my law firm calls you, all of a sudden I'm Mr. Roberts. I think I did need to call my law firm because you were ignoring me, and I'm sick of that." He put a new air conditioner on the roof. Didn't cost me a thing. But for the next 4 years that I was a tenant of his in his store, in his mall, every single time I called him, he jumped. "What can I do for you?" "I'll have somebody right over." "No problem. We'll take care of it." Because he didn't want to deal with my law firm. That's power. That allows the small business owner to play on the same level playing field as the big business owner. We offer debt collection assistance, full legal correspondence, and multiple user accessibility so that you as the business owner don't have to be the only one calling in. You can designate your office manager or HR professional or whatever. Now, Go Small Biz turns around and extends both the home-based business rider or our larger small business plans to offer quasi-legal coverage on issues on HR, government compliance, taxation, how to form your business for the best tax advantages, legal resources. There's a huge forms office in the back there that's just massive, sales and marketing, and college-level courses that you can use to train your employees. I did this consistently, just pointing my employees into the Go Small Biz training seminar and help them improve their customer service skills, help them improve their closing skills, help them improve their time efficiency and management skills. And I said to them, if you want to raise, you're going to pass these courses before you're even going to come talk to me. So that they had to do something to better themselves before I was going to better their paycheck. And so when you take an established company like LegalShield, we've been around for 43 years, very, very unique business model. We prepay our law firms to serve our members. So when you call, they're just wondering how they can serve you, not how they can bill you. And it's a completely different relationship in a phone call. But when you take that product, everybody needs this. It's a product that nobody has, and it's at a price that's affordable. LegalShield's the only store in town. What it does is it creates a very unique business model, and that's kind of where I want to pick up my story, because I was a member for 5 years. I used it. It worked for me. I referred it to people in my store that were my customers whenever they came in and complained about something in their life that was going on. I said, "Hey, you need a LegalShield membership," and I gave them the business card of the gentleman that sold me my LegalShield plan, and they come back several weeks later and say, "Thanks for the hookup. Here's what it did for me. Here's how the lawyer solved my problem." And they were grinning from ear to ear. I don't know how many people I helped. All I know is that I've never received a thank you for referring anybody to a lawyer before. Most people hate lawyers. Most people don't want to deal with them. But here were my customers standing in front of me, thanking me, and they were happy. So if you're, I don't know where we find you today, but if you know anybody who needs some additional income, whether to keep your business afloat or they're just looking for some extra cash flow, maybe you know some folks that embrace multiple streams of income. Most people start with us on a 95% of them start on a part-time basis, just integrating what we do into exactly what they're doing, just the same way that Elaine has. She's already got a successful business. She's just now sharing what she loves and using the LegalShield membership with other people. So what we do is we pay you a 20 to 48% of the annual premium. That's $90 to an extra $250 every time you share or refer the membership to somebody else and they purchase it, if you choose to, you can build a sales team much like an insurance broker or a real estate broker, and we'll pay you overrides on what your sales team sells. But the reason that I got involved in this as a small business owner was I did not have a pension plan. And so LegalShield pays us not only up front, but every year that those memberships stay on the books, we get a small percentage of that, and that is willable to my children and grandchildren. So this is my pension plan. And Elaine took a look at it and said, hey, you know what, this makes sense to me. And we've been helping for the last 10 years small business owners do the exact same thing all over North America. If you take a look at it, the three major divisions in the insurance industry have already achieved billions in market share. Just go to any downtown core area in any city and look up. And the tallest buildings are the banks and the insurance companies. It's a model where thousands of people pay in so that the service is available for you when you need it. Well, nobody invited you in front of the life insurance industry. Nobody invited you in front of the automobile or the health insurance industry. We're looking for a tenfold growth over the next 5 years, and so you've been invited to take a look at the business opportunity side of LegalShield, as well as seeing if the service might help you in your own business and save you money. So we invite you to get back to the person that invited you on this webinar. It's a big, quick overview. Let's sit down with you. Let's figure out where your business is at. Let's discover your needs and see if we can't put a customized proposal to help you save some money, whether it's from a family standpoint, for your employees, or for your business. So there's Elaine's phone number. There's Elaine's website. I appreciate the ability to speak with you and just kind of share my story. I would welcome the opportunity to have an individual one-on-one conversation with many of you. Last week we did this webinar, and more than 50% of the people that were on got back to us. Many of those folks are already enjoying using their LegalShield memberships, and they couldn't believe in the conversations that we had. They said, I couldn't believe that this service exists. So I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you on this webinar, seeing if we can help you in the same way that we help those folks. So thanks so much, and I'll turn it back to Elaine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Brad. I just wanted to share like a story, a personal story that happened to me. So I'm going to take that back and show my screen. I just brought these pictures up, so let me just get it over there. So a couple of years ago, my beautiful husband bought me this beautiful ring for our anniversary, and he had asked me what my ring size was, and I just kind of like said, I don't know, 7, not really understanding the significance. And so while it was beautiful, it was just too big, and I didn't want to tell him. So I took it to a local jewelry store, have it sized, and so this is what it came back looking like. That red that you see is glue because they broke the main stone out, and you can see there that they've replaced stones. They tried to solder it, they burned it, they glued it. Look, they burned a hole in it. Like, they just killed it. So I was terrified. I didn't want my husband to know. I called LegalShield. I gave them everything I had. They sent a letter on, Mills and Mills letterhead with 23 lawyers across the top, and I had a check for the full retail price of the ring, including the insurance and the shipping, every single dime that was spent, so that we could replace it within 2 weeks. So that basically paid for my and my family's LegalShield for the rest of my life. I was shocked that it worked. Like, I was shocked that I got that great of a result that quickly. So, and that's just one of the ways I've used it. So I just wanted to share that story with you.
Great. That's a great story, Elaine. And we're going to stay on the line. I'm available for the next few minutes, folks, if you want to pop open a chat or open up your line and just ask any individual questions. We don't want to get into personal details, in a public forum like this, but I'm more than happy to, answer any questions while we're on the webinar here.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a question, chances are somebody else has the same question, so feel free to ask it. If you're more comfortable just emailing me or reaching out on Facebook and asking questions, then most of you know that I'm pretty much always available on Facebook. Oh, there's a question from Michelle. When someone signs onto one of your plans, what if they need to step out of the contract? I can even answer this as a new person, that there is no contract. There is no long-term commitment. You can cancel your membership at any time. And uh, my experience has been that even when somebody just joins because they've got, a couple of issues they want to take care of, or they just want to get their will done, they rarely let the membership go because they find a lot of uses for it. And we also have a lot of we have this great document called 101 Uses um, reasons to call your lawyer, and I was pretty surprised that one of them was if your child is being bullied at school, because my child was bullied so bad at school that his nose was broken off his face, and I didn't know that I could call a lawyer. I thought it's the big school board against me. So, there's just always.
Can I grab that one? I sold a plan to a lady. I was actually standing in a gas station in Illinois, hearing this lady absolutely totally distraught, and I couldn't not. She was so loud. I walked up to her afterwards and I said, ma'am, I couldn't not hear you. I think I might be able to help you. Long and the short of it, she had a special needs child, and they had denied her child an educational assistance. And she could not find, after more than a dozen phone calls, she couldn't find any lawyer that was willing to take on the state school board. Our lawyers did and won.
Yeah, so, okay. And it's amazing how many of these stories, like they're emotional stories, because little people who are helpless aren't helpless anymore. So that's kind of what gets me. Anyway, I know, pardon?
I think Mike had a question. I'm not sure how to get to the chat window. Oh, there it is. Okay, Sue, you're interested. You'll get in touch with us. Jacqueline, great information, very interesting. We'll discuss with Elaine. Perfect. Anybody else have any other questions?
Okay.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. I'm going to stop.